Good morning, everyone. We're going to do another chess video. This time it's painful. And for the pain, I had to bust out the hoodie. Because I remember this very well. And you know how chess can be so hard where you win games and it feels like, yeah, it's nice, yeah? Right? You win a beautiful game, you're happy, you go out to the park, walk with the dog, talk to your girlfriend, call all your buddies. What a wonderful game. And when you lose, it's real misery though. It's disgusting. You feel like hell froze over and you just don't want to live. Especially when you have a good position and you butcher it. So I think that's a big problem, when the losses hurt much more than the wins feel good, yeah. Yeah, it's a bit difficult. I was extreme where, when I was playing cards, if I made big blunder or something, like I one night I went home and I kicked the wall and I broke my toe. Like I've seen chess players sit at the board after a loss. It was Igor Ivanov. He sat at the board for about 3 hours after the game, just looking at the position over and over and over again. I mean, people get crazy, you know. That's why I say you better do some yoga if you're gonna do anything seriously. Cause after, all right, well, let's get into the game. So it was the New York Open. I was in the open section, 24 years old, young master, and I'm playing Alexander Yermolinsky, Grandmaster Alexander Yermolinsky, 2620 FIDE, and and we had a Nimzo, and everything is standard here. Knight e2 may be a little bit weird, to be honest, like knight f3, but I don't know, maybe. But okay, it's nothing, no big deal. Like he maybe DC is maybe good for him, and then maybe some b6, but some close to equal, I would say. But now, I felt like I was starting to get the grip on him a little bit. Queen a4, what's the idea? I really want to get, really want to get this majority going on the queen side with the pawns. I would love to get in some b4 action. You get in b4, it don't care if your name is, Stockfish. You get b4, b5, c6 in something like this. You're gonna take that computer to the woodshed. So that would be b5, and this is all. The queen e8 was a nice move. We got in our thing, and he forced the. What the hell's going on here? Liverpool? You gotta be kidding me. No, don't allow. Interfering. They're trying to sell something. Everybody's trying to sell something. Okay. Liverpool, that's in Mexico. Okay. Queen c2. Back to reality. I think everything is beautiful here. I showed this position to Roman after the game. I showed to Asa Hoffman. I showed this game. They said, how do you lose a position like this? Knight f4. This is good. He can't play e5 now because I'm hitting d5 twice. And when he went here, now we're threatening nasty trick. I'm sure everybody at home sees this. I'm sure you all see I'm threatening knight d5 again, because when he trades the queens, you have a check on e7. Everybody, including him. He played Ricky 8. Very nice. Just cover the e7 square. What a clever man. Queen e3. Everything's beautiful. h6, defending his queen, making some space. Knight d3. I wanted to trade, but I don't. You know what? Trading has been not so good because then you don't get to play f4. Then he's going to get some e5 business. Once they get e5 in these things, when you have a pawn on c5, you have to be careful. Because if they undermine the d4 pawn, you know what happens to the c5 pawn? It becomes lonesome. Lonesome like me. So that's why we make chess videos. That's why we all played chess in the beginning, right? When it was romantic and cute. We're all looking for somebody to play with. Now look at us. Home alone, playing on the computer, talking to millions of people we'll never meet. All right, back to the game. So the truth is, I want to play f4, right? This looks very good. We're locking down the e5 pawn. How do you lose this? Guy's got a bishop, a knight on b6, a knight on d7. He can't go anywhere. The bishop is stuck defending the passed pawn. I'm going to play rook b1, and we have a nice thing. So I played 95. I don't know about this move, but it seems fine. All right, so we have the space. And I really thought I was going to win this game, and that's probably where I blundered. That's probably where my mistake. I went for a4, and I thought if I get knight b5 and knight d6, like I'm just going to win this game. And I didn't know enough about prophylaxis and holding down the fort and making your thing solid, and everything's got to be solid, before you go nuts. And I went queen f2. This is not good. I was losing track already because you have to identify your opponent's like potential. So you go queen f2, like you're automatically opening d3 square. That's an invasion square. It's very annoying. Of course, I'm attacking f7. You can't do it immediately, but better was probably to play h3. Right? He has one active piece, queen and bishop, like together if the bishop can, but the queen, right? So what if I just go h3, king h2, tuck the king away, nice. Now that I'm older, I think like this, and then you go queen g3 and try to trade the ladies, right? He has no, once the king's on h2, if he tries to come in queen c2, I will have rook f2. Right, the queen on g3 is defending the c3 knight. Rook takes rook, doesn't come with check because the king is on h2. And he sort of has to just go home. You just have to go home alone. And if he trades the queens, well, then the position is nice. I think perhaps it's equalish, but maybe white is slightly better. And I wish that I had done something like that instead. Instead, I start going wrong. I don't know what the time situation was. Here was oh man. I went for this a4. So there's a hole in this concept. And that when he takes this, I'm not attacking f7 anymore, and he gets to come in. And that's basically, I was depressed. All of a sudden I was depressed. I remember sitting there looking at this, and I'm just shaking my head like, how do you let this happen, dummy? I'm so stupid. So then rook c, I have to do that. Now I lose the b file. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. It's like looking at your poker hands after a tournament's over. You bust or something. You say, you start to question everything. Like, why'd you drink so much alcohol as a child? You're in the staircase before your first tournament game. You're smoking cocaine in the staircase with your friends. And you go down, you open your king side up, and you lose because the guy's a fianchetto bishop in a Sicilian on the queen side, and you end up looking like that, like me, and down the line. So now I'm sad again, and I have no choice. Like, what am I doing? He's coming in. Rook b4 is coming, guys. And then I'm going to get killed on d4. And if I lose d4, I think I lose there. Maybe I could defend, like, maybe a computer could defend, and I'm losing my pawn. And I thought, yeah, maybe, the problem here is that he can just give away the a pawn, take the c6 pawn. It's like French endgame, terrible, torturous French endgame. Imagine everything is gone, or I'm defending the d pawn, or like say a rook on d3, and he has a rook on c4, right? Then the king just Jolly wanders up here like Mr. Rogers into my neighborhood. And, he plays f6 with a king on f5 or something. And he breaks down e5. And then he plays, the pawn will replace itself on f6. And then he'll play e5 and I lose. But I was aware of all this. You have to, So now I'm getting more upset as the game is going. You can't imagine what happened that evening. I got so drunk. And now I'm just giving it all away. And then yeah, I don't even want to look at this anymore. Thanks to Alex Yermolinsky, I went out and got so drunk that night, and I went to play cards. I was playing cards from 1992. I went to play cards and I lost a fortune in a 10-20 limit hold'em also. So this is what can happen to you when you're playing like an idiot. You lose a fortune, you get wasted, and you get a 0 on the scoreboard also. I think I did end up having some good games. Something to be learned here. Going through this whole fiasco again. Look, be alert. Like when you have a nice position, keep an eye on your opponent's threats. Keep an eye on your opponent's threats. Here it was just 100% positional game. There was really no tactics involved. I had some good strategic ideas to get the pawn on c5, to trade some pieces, to bind down the e5 square. And here's maybe slightly better for white. If I had just chosen, also about this a4 business, another problem with it is that I wasn't counting on him. Well, he has rook b4 also, right? So when I showed this to Asa was like, well, you play h3, you play a3. Forget about you trying to hop a knight into b5 and d6. You play a3, and then he has no entry points. Later on, I took a class with Dvoretsky, and we learned more about this prophylaxis stuff. So keep an eye on your naughty opponent. Don't let them do what they want, right? Okay. There was a draw in the World Championship this morning, and Kasparov says it's not a real World Championship. I mean, the guy did win the candidates, and his rating is only down because he got ill. I mean, we all get sick, right? Especially with the worldwide catastrophe. Lord knows what the man was going through. All right, we'll tune in and with better news and a sharper game perhaps next time. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day. Thank you.